Hi there, viewer. How are you doing today? Welcome to your collective reading, and we're going to be looking at energy in the collective and how that's going to be impacting you and anything that might be kind of in your communications, in your relationships, the energy that is underpinning this week from the 3rd of June to the 9th of June. And I'll talk a little bit about the astrology first of all, and then I will go into the reading. But if you want to skip straight to the reading, I'll put a timestamp in the description box below. So we have this week a lot of Gemini energy and a lot of kind of interesting combinations of different energies and a very supportive energy. But with Gemini being the energy of the sun at the moment, because the sun is in Gemini, we have the new moon in Gemini on the 6th. We've got Mercury moving into Gemini on the 3rd, so on Monday. Venus is in Gemini already. So there's a lot of Gemini energy, which is all around the mind, the mental knowledge. It's about mind thinking and communications. And Gemini rules our third house. So whatever placements or energies you've got in the third house, the Gemini energy kind of underpins that energy. And it's all about the third house rules like short journeys, communication, early childhood, early education, siblings. So there can be, and it's all about kind of communication with close people, so neighbors, work colleagues, like the daily interactions we have where we're having daily conversations with people, or it's like short interactions with people. This could be somebody, the bus driver on your commute to work, or somebody who you see in the morning coffee shop that gets you your morning coffee or tea, or anything that is kind of in your daily routines can be impacted by this energy. But it's really strongly connected to the mind, thinking, knowledge, communication, how we're thinking. The kind of gone awry side of this energy can be very in the mind, so thinking about overthinking about things. It can be gossip because of communication, misinformation, and kind of the spread of that. It can be those kinds of the change of information as it goes through different channels. How we absorb knowledge, the kind of knowledge that we are consciously absorbing and thinking about that. There could be feelings around social media platforms not feeling right or feeling really good, or interaction on social media. Gemini, Mercury, it's all around technology and communication. So we've got, and Gemini kind of is, well, Mercury ruling Gemini. Mercury is that kind of mischief energy when it comes to communication and the whispers of things sometimes, and that can go either way. So this energy is really, it could be rooted in sibling relationships, if that applies and if that resonates, or it could be people at work, could be just people in your close environment. And the energy this week that will be impacting you, a lot of us, will be thinking, the mind, and how we want to communicate. So think the thoughts that we have before we come into communication externally. It's all about going deep into our thought process, the conditioning of our thoughts, how we get to the end process of our thoughts, so the entire uh, construct of how we're thinking about something. This is also about expansive thinking, because we have Jupiter at play here, and anything that kind of is destroyed or being dismantled, how we're thinking about that and how we're expanding from that, both in our practical life, perhaps financially, but definitely with the mind and with how we're thinking about things. So this is a time to really expand from anything being dismantled. And with the new moon this week in Gemini, this is a really positive time for how anything new we want to create, anything new we're working on, particularly with work or with creating something, some kind of invention, or creating something new. We've got the creative energy of Venus in Gemini already. So just adding to another complexity, another layer to this Gemini energy. So we're going to look in the reading at a lot of the mental, anything we're kind of letting go of that's to do with thought patterns, and we'll look a little bit about different areas, how that might be impacting with our communications with others, and how to work best with their energy. So let's get into the reading now, viewer, and have a look and see what spirit want us to know about the energy this week, especially this very strong Gemini energy. And if you do have placements in Gemini, you might be feeling the energy this week in that particular area of your house, or strong placements, or like a very busy house in your natal chart, or any kind of conjunctions or aspects to your natal chart will be very in the mind this week. Okay, let's have a look, particularly this week. Let's have a look. Jupiter as well just moved. Oops, okay. Jupiter as well just moved into Gemini, and this is the start of a 1 year cycle, but it also can impact something from about 12 years ago. I forgot to say that in the beginning. So it could be something from 12 years ago resurfacing, or an expansion of that, or an involvement of that. So we have thinking about the mind space, exploring what we might be thinking or things that we might need to think, or how we can be changing our mindset. We've got, where can I ask for more help in my life? So is there anywhere in your life or anything happening at the moment where you're not asking for help? Is that because of anything, any preconditioned concepts about what asking for help means? Are you worried about asking for help? Are you thinking about asking for help but then not asking somebody, or pulling away from asking for help for some reason? Am I letting fear stop me? Is there something that you want to ask? Is there something you want to communicate? Is there something that you want to do, perhaps on social media, perhaps in your work, perhaps in your relationships, with all of these different energies at play? Is there anywhere where fear is stopping you from progressing or moving forward, or taking a leap of faith, or taking action in some way? What is the most limiting belief keeping me from what I want right now? Is there anything that feels really prominent this week that comes up? And how can I deepen my trust right now? So this is interesting, actually, that this has come out, because the deepening of trust is not always obvious. And when we're in our heads, and when we're very mentally active and knowledge based, like academic active, we can lose sight of our intuition. And it's kind of, it's working with our knowledge, what we know, in conjunction with our intuition, with our higher self, with Gemini and Sagittarius being opposite, and in duality, in kind of a pursuit of oneness, if you like. The full moon we just had in Sagittarius was all about higher self, the higher of everything, higher learning. And Gemini is the early stage learning. So what is it that we can, how can we align our higher self with our mind state in order to get to where we want to get to? Is a lot about this energy as well. Okay, let's see how this could be impacting you, viewer, and people around you, and kind of the life path at the moment. Let's see what's happening at the moment. Let's get current energy. What's happening with current energy right now, Spirit, in the collective? Okay, let's have a look. I feel like we're going to be shuffling these again, actually. We've got adjacent possibilities, yes. So this is where is this happening? Where is any of these kind of mindset or mental activities happening? And where is the other possibility? So what are we looking at that feels like it's not really the right solution? And if we kind of turn left or right, are there other doors that we can go through? There's adjacent possibilities to a problem you're trying to solve. The world. Yeah, this card for me often represents a completion of something, but also being in that limbo state before you take a step to a totally new level. This, the kind of energy where we feel like we've fully stepped into new self while we're letting go of old self, and there we are in this kind of like limbo. It's actually kind of like we're in this corridor before we go through these doors. So there's an adjacent possibility that allows this full step into this new area of something. With the new moon this week, it could be a lot of like new beginnings, new wishes, new dreams, new goals, new desires, new knowledge, perhaps, and appreciation. So this is all about inviting appreciation in, and quite often this is for the small things. When we get so wrapped up in our minds and wrapped up in what's happening, are we particularly with the Gemini energy kind of gone awry? It's, you know, there can be, with Mercury at play here, and a few different other elements at play astrologically, there can be like a paranoia sometimes. So if you're feeling anything like that coming up, or if anybody around you is feeling anything like that coming up, it's likely to come back to basics. And it's the attitude of gratitude basics, and it's appreciation for things that are kind of small and detailed, because those things will help us understand the big things, because we can get very overwhelmed with knowledge as well. Okay, returning over victory, nice. There's a victory over a problem. There's a solution that comes in, and it's an intellectual solution, an answer to a problem or to a challenge that you're facing or a block that you're facing. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael, beautiful. So this is the heart space. This is asking really in our hearts, what's the truth? This is week is about the truth of knowledge, really the truth of knowledge, and where we are, the truth of how we communicate, the truth of the words that we use, the power of the words that we use. And this is all about the power of the words that we use that come from our heart space. And that is like the ultimate power. That's the connection between the knowledge and the higher level learning. And we've got caring connections, yes. So we've got Venus in Gemini already. So there could be a lot of this, a lot of pieces are coming together this week. There's a lot of supportive energy where we can be looking at things from a few different angles, and we kind of see the oneness and the completion of a lot this week. And we've got the world coming up. So I do feel like for a lot of you, you're going to see the end of one cycle and the beginning of another, just naturally in the collective, because with the collective energy, everybody's moving into the end of a cycle and together, and it kind of amplifies that energy even further. Okay, where are we going now, Spirit? Let's have a look at what kind of um, personal lessons, personal. I want to actually have a look at people around you. Yeah. So let's have a look at people around you, what they're experiencing and how this energy is impacting them this week. We've got status and fulfillment, second house, ninth house. Okay, we've got, so this is Taurus energy. Mars enters Taurus, actually. I want to say, I think it's next week. It might be the 9th or 10th. Okay. And let's have a look at your energy. So this is close people around you with fulfillment and status. So somebody around you might be getting a promotion, or they might be either getting a promotion, or they might be looking at where in the world they want to go, dreams that they have, things. If somebody around you has been feeling like they are not very fulfilled, or they just feel really unsatisfied with life, or they don't know what direction to go in, for some of you, and this is not going to be for everybody, but for some of you where you have children or people, young people who you are caring for or guardians for, or inspire or teach or lead in some way, there could be like there could be realizations this week about, do you know what, this is what I want to do with my life, and this is where I want to look for work, and I want to work with these kinds of people in this kind of industry, doing this kind of thing in the community, and making these kinds of waves. And I feel like there's going to be clarity in that, where somebody might have been uncertain, but the same principle applies for the collective, where you feel like there's not a lot of fulfillment and people around you are a little bit unsure, that's kind of clicking into place. But this decision is like wanting to step up, wanting to grow in, wanting to evolve. So we've got Sagittarius Taurus energy here, second house, ninth house, and we've got Jupiter and Saturn. So Jupiter is in Gemini, just was in Taurus. Yeah, there's progress. There's something here about progress with somebody around you, somebody close to you. So this could be somebody that you're close to at work, a close friend. This could be a family member. This could be a partner. And let's have a look at your energy. So we've got idealism and patience. So with your energy, viewer, I feel like there's patience being called right now in order to achieve something that you know to be true. It's like you have this vision, you have this desire for how your work could be. You have this belief in how things could be under perfect circumstances, like the utopia of something. And Spirit saying, have patience. Have patience with bringing this to life. It's going to be like slow, steady, and not too much overthinking. Think of things in a different different way, think about things in a very unique way, but step by step. I feel like this is bite-sized pieces rather than one big change too fast. This could be for you, or this could be something that you're doing with other people. If you are a business owner and you're thinking about making a big change in business, this could be taking it step by step, rather than a big change, because it could be too much for people around you to do and it would collapse. So build solid foundations, but have patience when it comes to other people's opinions. It's like a space for listening, and get it's like a collective utopia with the Aquarius energy coming out 11th house. This is all about how we are interacting in the world. With the Gemini energy and the Aquarius energy, this is like how we communicate with our friendships, our in our social circles, like any hobbies that we have, like any social interactions we have. But this is really shining in a place, expanding into a place that can, where you're bringing something to light. So have patience, viewer. Have patience with something that you feel really connected to and you believe, and it's small bite-sized steps. This is about how you're doing something, how you organize yourself, how you're structuring something, bit by bit, um, to build something. The phrase that's coming to me, and this isn't necessarily to do with money or finances, although it could be for you if that resonates. This could be, do you know what the saying? Well, it's an English saying. I don't know if if wherever in the world this might be said, but look after the pennies and the pounds look after themselves. So it's looking after each piece of the whole of the 100%, and then the 100% organically looks after itself because each 1% is looked after, each penny is looked after. But where you could be worried with the energy we've got here, you could be worried not taking action quick enough could be hindering progress, or it means that you lose out, and I don't feel that that's the case, but we will clarify that in a second. Okay, let's get a feeling on the collective. So we've got personal relationships here, we've got you here. Let's have a look at in the kind of collective community aspect, what's happening here. So we've got 5th house drama and 4th house resourcefulness. Okay, there could be, do you know how like news spreads like wildfire, the saying, like gossip spreads like wildfire, or good news spreads like wildfire? I feel like there could be some of that happening with the energy, the Gemini energy that's coming. There could be people panicking or worrying, and instead of being informed about something or thinking about how to deal with something, there could be like a panic or a feeling of just unease and uncertainty and fear that's coming up with people around you. Could be in the workplace, could be in extended family, could be in just a social group you're in, friendship group, but like a group of people that you're connected to. Spirit saying here, be resourceful, be rooted. Like the wind can be blowing and blowing and blowing, and if you are super rooted in the ground energetically, you will not be moved, you will not be swayed. So I feel like Spirit are telling you this because you understand what that means and how to do that and how to help people do that. It's about being resourceful no matter what comes your way, what comes their way. It's about being resourceful, and it's about being brave and tapping into that courage and supporting each other. Like supporting each other. You don't necessarily, compassion doesn't require you to understand what somebody's going through. Compassion is just holding space for somebody and just kind of listening, not even necessarily needing to understand. Okay, this could be linked to where can you ask for more help. So this could be um, explaining to somebody else that they can ask for help, or encouraging somebody to get help in some way, or this could also be applying for you as well. Okay, and this is the deepening of trust as well, because this feels very connected actually. This is the deepening of trust here, trust in the group, trusting that you've just, when you've got friends and when you've got people that you care about, it's like you just know you've got each other. There's that kind of feeling of community coming in. Okay, interesting. Page of Swords. Yeah, this is all about education. For some of you, you're connected to somebody, or somebody very close around you is going into higher education, or they're learning something very new, or they're going deeper into an area of education, an area of in, interest. Something they could be studying something, doing a diploma or a degree. What else do we need to know about this fulfillment and status? Yeah, so having a complete rebirth. It could be that they'd said, do you know what, actually I'm going to go and do this. This could be a career change, this could be anything in that area. I'm actually going to move these so you can see them properly. But this is really positive for this person in your life. Let's have a look at you now, viewer. What's happening with this patience and idealism? What is it that Spirit want you to know? Okay, we have the Hierophant, beautiful, and the Seven of Wands. Protect your space for your spiritual growth. Protect your space for energy, of energy. Protect pure energy. There could be people that don't necessarily agree or want to move in the same way that you want to move in, but I feel really strongly that this is because they're worried about change, they're scared about change, and that's where some of this patience comes in. But there's a pathway that you're on that is this higher truth, viewer. There is this higher truth. I feel like the full moon in Sagittarius would have been very strong for a lot of you. But Spirit saying, be very protective of your own energy, be protective of your pathway, of your own pathway, your own guidance, and where you get your knowledge from. If something, if you, I mean, I don't know, I get, do you know when you read an email or you see something on a website or you hear information, quite often you can't put your finger on it, but you're just, something doesn't quite feel right for you for that information. And it could be that somebody said that the information is verified. It could be, there's all these different reasons to believe that it's true, but something just doesn't resonate with you. And I feel that's really important this week. So if a text message doesn't feel quite right, if an article you're reading or a blog you're reading doesn't feel quite right, or you feel a little bit, you notice that you feel a bit more in your head than usual, or a bit more in kind of fear mode or panic mode after you've been on a particular website or social media, or had a particular topic discussion, be very aware of that this week. This is all about the purity and washing out all of that stuff so that you can be sitting in your strongest energetic self, and be protective of your energy, because it's very important. Okay, let's see about the collective energy this week that's going to be impacting you, what you need to know about this. What do we need to know about this drama? How is this drama coming in? Oops, okay. Okay. We had quite a few flip there. And we have one here. Okay. It's a topic or a person from your past. Okay, this is going to be any kind of drama that comes up. It's a head over heart situation. Okay, there's a head over heart situation. This could be arguments or drama that you've already seen before, or this could be bringing up kind of topics that you have in your past, or this person has in their past, or people have in their past, or this could be people are starting to see things from a different perspective. I feel like that's what's happening. People are starting to see things from a very different perspective, and we've got, because we've got the wheel here and we've got the world here. I really do feel like there is a change. There is this readiness for something new, and with the new moon in Gemini this week, that's a very, very hot topic. And this is about taking courage. This is the courage to go from the heart space and not just from the head space. And this is the courage to also change the knowledge or be open to different information, with the King of Swords here, because this is about taking action. This is somebody who could be older or a teacher. This could be parents as well, moving away from what our parents taught us and what we learn in very early childhood into finding our own roots, because that's third house to fourth house transition, and we're in third house energy with Gemini. So this could be moving from relying on other people for knowledge and for interacting with other people for knowledge, to being self-sufficient in where we find where we find knowledge. And I feel everybody's on that kind of quest of what's true for them and their own rooting and their own wisdom. But this is heart over head, and that's where we can learn to be more resourceful. That's where we can, or it's balancing the heart and the head, because the mind is such a powerful tool when we have the right knowledge, and it's a powerful tool actually when we have the wrong knowledge as well, but it takes us along a different mode. But it's all about being very aware of where fear is coming in and where passion is coming in, and the difference between the two in the collective this week. Okay, let's have a look at what might be being healed through this energy. Let's look at healing through this energy. Yeah, there's definitely some healing. This is like there's a mental conditioning being healed here. Okay, we have sexual arts and healing. Let's get one more. I feel like what's happening this week is people, and it could be you, viewer, or it could be people around you, very close around you, are learning how to go through conscious healing rather than repression of things that might need healing. So it's like the awareness of, do you know what, actually that thing that keeps coming up, that fear that I keep having, I want to that to heal, and I want to move past that and move through that rejection. Okay, so we have sexual arts, master number 33 here as well. So there could be topics of sexuality, there could be topics of creativity with this as well. This could be just something sensual and what feels kind of uh, very freeing, very liberating, but very creative, very sacral chakra energy. And we've got rejection. And we have healing. The number three might be important for some of you as well. We're in third house energy. We've got 33, 1 and 3, and 2 and 1, which is 3. There's awareness about what needs healing. There's been almost like a denial about healing being needed, I feel. And this week there's going to be a realization. And sometimes just the realization that something is feeling like it needs healing is the healing. And it doesn't, sometimes we need to go through a longer process and sometimes we don't. And I feel whoever this is in relation to, it could be you or it could be somebody else. It could be somebody with family, somebody in your family, or somebody in your extended family, or that you consider family, realizing that actually just by knowing that has held me back, it releases and it goes and it just dissolves by itself. Okay, so I feel like these questions are really these questions are very important to ask this week. Determination, yeah, we have a very powerful energy, a very powerful energy in the collective. It's like it is an encouraging energy, although it can be not very gentle. It can be quite abrupt in some respects. Spiritual awakening, yes, I love that came out. So a lot of people in the collective, and viewer for you especially, you might be finding these topics coming up within your family environment or through your family environment. There's a deep determination. Okay, there's taking action with determination to get to where you want to get to. This is like your intrinsic knowing, with the spiritual awakening as well, with the spiritual awakening energy, because we have this kind of, with this crown chakra energy, we've got this rooting energy, and we already had the fourth house, this rooting energy. There's a deep awakening in the mind happening, in the mind. So this could be where knowledge comes from. This could be all sorts of different things. Let's have a look at what we're letting go of in terms of lessons. What are we letting go of? What kind of past lessons are we letting go of, or that's impacting you, that might be in this kind of family situation or these close relationships? We've got purpose. Yes, that's this determination here. I know what I am here to do. So you've got this letting go of anything that feels like you don't belong, or you feel kind of out of sorts, or you don't feel like you know where you're going. We've got that energy right in the beginning. This could be somebody around you, or it could be you in the as well, or you being inspired by somebody, or somebody else being inspired by you with this sense of purpose. But there's There's a drive towards purpose happening this week. Very strong. Okay. And we have relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. This is I want to say relationships in all senses. This does feel like closer one-to-one relationships. That type of one-to-one relationship could be romantic, could be business partner, could be boss, could be colleague, could be somebody in your team, a supplier. There's a one-to-one relationship, I feel, for a lot of you, where you're thinking about how to this appreciation of the relationship. If it's somebody that you get on really well with, where there's a lot of consideration, kindness, humor perhaps, but there's something very important about these relationships this week. Okay, and it's all about being in your truth in your relationships and the communication. So sometimes the communication, especially with the Gemini energy this week, is just, I just want to know, I just want you to know I appreciate you, and I really appreciate how you do things, or I appreciate how you send me an email, I appreciate how you fill in the blank, whatever that might be for you. I appreciate how you lay the table for dinner. I appreciate how you give me a goodnight kiss on my forehead. It could be any type of relationship. Um, Kids, parents, cousins, sibling, like anything. But there's a strong connection here that's being where both people are healing from things, I feel, into kind of like a trust of self, a trust of the journey, and a trust of self on the journey. There's like a hero's journey energy going on, and we've got a conscious a conscious awareness of that journey, because we're all on that journey. It's just the awareness of it. And we've got denial. I acknowledge my fear and I replace it with the insight of awareness. So I hadn't read that actually when I was talking about that. There is something about being more aware this week, more aware of knowledge, more aware of where we're at, more aware of where we want to go. Just like almost like the dreams and hopes and wishes that we have being kind of activated. Okay, what else is happening in our energy? What else are we kind of learning? What's our learning path? I think this says patience. Yes. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Viewer, this feels very important for you because you got patience earlier. So everything happens in order. Everything happens so that we can understand something. There's a purpose in everything, and there's a purpose in everything when it comes to energy, and it's up to us and our free will with how we express that, or how that's somebody else's free will, how that's expressed to us. And having patience on your own journey, but also perhaps with other people this week. Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. This is all about the learning, mental learning, and the breakthroughs of knowledge-based thinking, the breakthroughs of conditioned patterns, like thinking patterns. And we've got happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. So if you've been taking detours, or if there's detours happening, if there are kind of things that have been thrown into the mix, it's about understanding the level of peace that you have. It's the level of inner awareness that you have, and the happiness, how, if you feel happy, if you feel joy, and spirit saying it's not about getting somewhere in a linear way. It's about having patience when things come in that challenge us, and feel like they're blocked and they're blocking our pathway forward, but we have determination to go around these things. You can't move the mountain, but you can walk around the mountain. And sometimes you are the mountain when it's standing strong, perhaps when it's standing strong with just protecting your energy, and setting up your boundaries. Okay, let's have a look at what might be hidden that we need to be aware of, particularly on the mental level, or anything impacting the mental level. Let's have a look. What's happening just below the surface that we need to be aware of this week? The viewer, please. For the viewer on view of your personal connections, shadow side, moon, the dark night, self-care and energy. What else do we have for the viewer this week? Remember awakening. Yeah, there's lots of awakening. Rebirth and winter. I feel like there might be one more. Okay. We just said detours. Is there anything else for the viewer this week, please, Spirit? I feel like that's it. Yeah. Oops. There we go. Okay. So we are coming out of a cocoon. If you feel like things have just been a little bit like dragging our heels through the mud or cement, perhaps, that's going to be slightly lifted this week. But the mentals kicking in. We are thinking about moving forward, being more strategic. But we've got the moon energy is being very impactful this week. This feels like a 6 month cycle with the moon phases. So this could be a 6 month cycle, uh, perhaps for some of you, or where you were 6 months ago, or the intentions that you had 6 months ago. But I feel like this is a look at where you were 6 months ago and look at where you are now, and the appreciation for that journey. But just to look how far you've come, and things that you thought that you couldn't get over, that you couldn't move past, that were just immovable, that seemed immovable. You managed to be super resourceful, and perhaps with people around you, to get past that. And we've got remember awakening. So this is all about awakening in your mind space. And we've got self-care and energy. Self-care is needed this week, but I feel that that's to protect your mental space. Going to run out of space. And rebirth winter. We've definitely got something transitioning. It's, yeah, transitioning, starting something again, or being able to start something new. Fate detours, divine intervention. This is like the tower moment. So something coming up this week, we realize that something was or something is divine intervention, and avoidance and stalemate. So if there's anything that we're avoiding in terms of how we think, knowledge, how we're thinking about things, advice we need, any support that we might need, that could be highlighted quite strongly this week. Okay, let's have a look at some doors that might be opening for you that Spirit want you to be aware of. We've got offerings. And abundance lies in the heart that allows. Share more than expected and see love come around. So this is the offering something. This is also that appreciation we were picking up on earlier. So it's like abundance follows abundance. And there's opportunities this week to offer words of kindness, offer acts of kindness, perhaps. And it's not that we don't want to do those things or we don't think about those things, but sometimes life gets us in such a rush, and sometimes our mind gets us in such a bubble that we forget to come back down to the moment, to come back into the moment, and our attention is elsewhere. And I feel like this is Spirit saying, be very present for these moments. And the opportunity to give these offerings or to receive these offerings, because with the Gemini energy as well, it's about listening as well as communicating. It's the space to listen. It's the listening to the silence. It's the listening to ourself, which is this Hierophant. That's listening to Spirit, perhaps for some of you as well. And we've got morning memory. Its healing gift runs a destined course. The morning dawn, our inspired source. So there's a new start for a lot of you. This morning for some of you, this could be to do with the sunrise. But for others of you, this could be the start of something new, the beginning of something new coming in. I feel like if you've wished for something new, or if you've been really hoping for a new start or focused on a new start for something, this is the week where you're going to see movement in that. And patience. We've had patience 3 times. I actually forgot that the patience cards was in this mini door deck. Everything will soon come to light, and then you'll see things will be all right. So if there's anything you're worried about, viewer, and don't forget, there could be this paranoia energy coming in this week with the energies that we've got in the collective. So if there is any kind of mental paranoia, overthinking, worrying, that when you, especially if you don't usually have that type of energy around you, be very aware that you're picking up on the collective energy this week with all of the Gemini energy, and other aspects to that energy. But everything is going to be okay. This is Spirit saying everything is going to be okay. Right, where are we going now? I want to have a little look, and this might not resonate for everybody, but I want to have a little look at what might be happening in kind of money or career space, because this is energy that kind of supports that side of things. So let's have a look. Particularly kind of coming from the second house, which is all about money, personal finances, And then integrating that with knowledge, which is kind of like we've got success and timing. Yes, that's actually all over this. Victory, patience. Happiness, patience. Spiritual awakening, determination. Yeah, there's something here that is like we just need a bit of patience. We just need to pause and not rush something for what we've wished for to really come to life. Okay, so we've got timing. It's all in the timing right now. Pull another card to see if you will need to do it now, wait a while, or make a different decision. We'll get some tarot on that. And we've got success. You're on the path you are on will bring you success and prosperity if you just keep going. Lots of little steps take you along the way. You're on track. Beautiful. So do you know earlier we were saying about the 1%? 1% improvement a day. 1% look after 1% of something, 1% of your day dedicated to X to bring the success in, whatever that X might be for you. But there's a success here. I feel like there's timing at play. So where you might have wanted something to happen quite quickly, Spirit saying be patient, but don't stop. Don't stop moving. Let's get a tarot on this timing. What do we need to know about this timing for the viewer, please, Spirit? And we did have, there's somebody that you're connected to, closely connected to, that's having this kind of realization this week about what they want to do, what they might want to learn. Six of Swords. This is all about moving away from something in your mental space. This is moving away from conflict with communication. If any of you are in a position where you are in a job that you really want to excel in, but there's somebody that you really are frustrated with working with, or they can be very sharp with their words. There's a lot of kind of like mental, what I call mental warfare, where people are playing games, very passive aggressive in nature. If there's anything like that happening around you, there's a timing element that means that is working on that before you can go to where you are going to go. You're definitely going there. For others of you, and this could apply, both of these could apply, but this is about your mindset. So this could be something here. This could be, how do you, if you're thinking about starting a business but you think you need to do it on your own, you don't have to do it on your own. Who else can you involve or bring in to help you, at least with the beginning steps, or perhaps with the phase 2, phase 3 of your plan? What kind of limiting beliefs do you have that is stopping this success from coming in, or from you being able to see and feel the success that Spirit want to give you? And how can you deepen the trust? Because this is about heart over head. This is not about not using the mind. This is about decisions from the heart space, especially with this fourth chakra coming through. This is decisions from the heart space, this openness of heart, and the strategic action forward. We will look at action as well in a second. Is there anything else we need to know about this timing for the viewer, please? Anything? Oops, okay. Four of Cups. Yeah. So where you are feeling, do you know what? I'm just not quite sure where to go. Nothing's quite happening. Look, this is the adjacent possibilities card. So where we had this card come through, this is like not being able to see where things are coming in, but actually if we turn a little bit, there is something there that we can see, and then we can be resourceful with. This could be impacting you, other people around you. For a lot of you, this could be in the workplace in some way, or some like a project you're working on. Okay, let's have a look at we've got a lot of action energy. Let's have a look at some action. What kind of action energy do we need to be aware of this week? How should we be channeling action energy for the viewer in interactions with the collective, close collective and larger collective, please, Spirit? How should we be looking to take action? Oops, all of the cards. Just about to drop everything there. I'm trying not to mess up the rest of the spread. We've got beauty. Yeah, beauty in everything. We have Thoth, wisdom. Interesting with the moon energy. And Hades, death. Okay. Big transformation in what we thought was true is not true. And there is a appreciation for the journey that we're on with learning something different and new to expand how we're thinking or feeling, thinking and feeling about something. So this is knowledge that we gain. This is something that we start to understand in a different way, because sometimes the knowledge is the same but we all of a sudden see it in a different way, or we get a different perspective and a different opinion on something and we're like, oh, I never saw it like that, and it kind of opens up this whole different angle, this whole different uh, wisdom. There's something else that we absorb in that, and there's beauty in seeing something in a new way, in a new light. There's this destruction element. This feels very Pluto energy actually, and we do have we've got Pluto aspects that's impacting energy this week as well. It could be at play here. There could be Pluto aspects, Saturn aspects as well, especially if they're strong in your natal chart. But there's something about totally dismantling something that we've done, or particularly a way of thinking, or perhaps a career choice, what we do for work, in terms of, especially if that's to do with the mental strategic thinking or thinking. This could also be to do with connections with family. This could be connections with like siblings as well. There could be an understanding if there has been any kind of conflict in those areas. Let's have a look at some of this wisdom. What are we going to start to see and understand and experience this week for the viewer, please? And this is especially for you, viewer, rather than the collective, but you're, what are you? We've got eternal union, new love is forming. Okay, so this is this is a new, somebody coming in that's new moon energy as well. And this is interesting, channel your knowledge, and this is all about the knowledge energy. Or somebody, this is like a new phase in an existing relationship, or this eternal union could be uh, something to do with faith or your spiritual pathway. Okay. Interesting. That's very beautiful. And we've got the beauty here. And we've got channel your knowledge, critical judgment. If there's any kind of thoughts or like patterns of thoughts, thinking or communication that feels very judgmental, the power of the words that we use to ourselves, to others, if that is a theme this week, or if that's something that you've been experiencing, I feel like Spirit's saying here, if you journal, write everything down. It's like if you write everything that's in your head down without judgment, you sort of realize that 99% of what you write down is just pattern or fear-based thinking. And but if you get past that, there's actually something really genius underneath there. Okay, where are we going now, Spirit? Let's have a look at activations this week. So it's very bad grammar. Let's look at longer term pathway. Let me put these over here so I've got a bit more room. Longer term pathway and what's being activated this week towards your longer term spiritual pathway. Let's have a look. What's being activated for the viewer, please, Spirit? We've got language of light, rediscover, humble wanderer, and communication. That's why I'm laughing, because this is the language. We've just said about the language that we use. This is where this week is where we connect our language in terms of academic intellect with cosmic intellect. And there's a union of those two things, and that is Gemini energy. It's the duality of the two. It's the polarity of things, and being able to bridge those two together in human form and in the 3D and in physical form. So we're understanding that the different types of languages and how to blend them together and work with all of them together in unison, in unity. And we've got inner oracle, you are the channel, deja vu, self-fulfilling prophecy. This is where thoughts are going to be very important this week. This is about you being fully aligned and true to yourself without any kind of critical judgment. That's where I think that's where spirit are going with this energy. It's like this, anything that feels critical with you, spirit saying no, we are on this pathway. And we've got the twins here, which is very interesting. Libra could be important with this imagery actually, but this is like twin energy, which is the Gemini energy. Some of you might have twins as children, or be a twin, or have twin siblings with the Gemini energy again. Again, that's obviously not going to be for everybody. But you are the channel. It's the trusting that you have the information inside of you. There's unlocking spiritual wisdom with this Thoth energy. There's unlocking spiritual wisdom that activates this week. And we saw that earlier with the Hierophant too. Okay, let's have a look at pathway. What do we need to know about pathway this week? What are we moving into on our pathway? Oh, straight away, transcending. I feel like that might be the only one, but I'll see if there's anything else. Is there anything else for the viewer for pathway this week? No, I'll give it one more shuffle. I think that's it. Yeah, okay. And threes are important for some reason, because we've got we've got a six here. Yeah, nine, because there's threes just feel important. Just because I keep noticing them out of any of the other numbers. We've got transcending Atlantis. So you're transcending something, and this is all about knowledge, the technology, which is again Mercury energy, and we've got Mercury in Gemini season. There's transcending what we think we know to what is actually possible, what is actually the intellect, the intelligence of energy that we're experiencing, of various different conscious modalities. So if you are into sacred geometry, if you're pulled towards those types of things, quantum physics, that this is a really good time. This is a perfect time if you want to learn about those types of topics to go into. So it's the spiritual sciences. It's about it's a very I feel very scientific based, but it's transcending what we know into something that is higher intelligence and a deeper truth. But this is where you're going, viewer. This is on your pathway. Okay, let's have a look at just some words of wisdom and guidance as we go through this week. Let's get some guidance. Can we get some guidance for the viewer on the energy this week, please, Spirit? Okay. Thank you. We have Fox Clever. You are swift and smart. Solutions to problems are easily found. Always listen to your instincts. Resources surround you. Be open to romance. I mean, so this is about the intellect. This is about you being able to think on your feet. This is about you having all of the knowledge that you need inside of you. This is about you channeling that in a positive way by releasing any negative mental thought patterns or behavior patterns that stop you from taking off a layer to express your own power. And solutions to problems are easily found, and we had that earlier, didn't we? I think, and this is all about problem solving energy. The air sign, so Gemini, Aquarius, Libra, is a lot to do with overcoming problems using the mind, the mental space, and utilizing that tool, very powerful realm of the mind, to overcome a problem and to communicate and to find ways of communicating that are in connection to something greater, to something bigger, and in quality and fairness and equilibrium as well. but there is something here about listening to your instincts. So there is a head over heart, but not the not a rejection of either. And we've got be open to romance. Something came up earlier, and it was to do, oh yes, the sexual art. So that could be to do with romance. We've got relationships as well, so it could be to do with something new coming in, and we've got a new love is forming here as well. Okay, let's get one more for you, viewer, and see what else for this week. Lizard regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are the master of regeneration. Yes, beautiful. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. I feel like that's really important. You're unparalleled. Everybody is unparalleled because nobody is living our life. Nobody has our experiences. Nobody shares our experience ever, totally. So there is so much beauty in these connections we form. There's beauty in these new interactions we have with people. There could be lots of new daily interactions. Somebody new that has started working at the coffee shop you go to, or the lunch place you go to, or the somewhere where you frequent quite often on like a daily or weekly basis, like maximum once a minimum once a week, but maybe more frequent than that. And there could be new people that you meet in those areas, but it's like these new interactions, those moments that solidify all future interactions. Because if you walk into a coffee shop and somebody's new there and you say, oh hi, and I haven't seen you before, and they're like, oh, it's my first day, and you're like, oh, have a wonderful first day, I hope it goes well for you, that person's always going to remember you. I think it's the Maya Angelou quote, I can't remember, I'm going to paraphrase, but people don't remember what you said to them, or something, or maybe what you look like. Sorry, I'm paraphrasing. I'm going to look after this, after I finish the reading of what the actual quote was. But the end of the quote is they always remember how you made them feel, and there's something about that you have the power of that, to give to other people. But it's also spirit saying to you, be aware of that and how that's coming up in your life, because that's important for your journey as well. Okay, viewer, I hope that you found some messages of inspiration and guidance, and felt Spirit's love through the messages that came through the reading today, and some guidance for this week and what's happening in collective energy and how that's impacting you and your close ones, your loved ones too. Thank you for watching the reading with me as always, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.